Yee-haw! Howdy, crime fighters! Welcome back to Crime Fighting 101 with Caroline Dunn. So far, we've seen how police officers operate helicopters and cruisers when patrolling. On this episode, we're going to see how officers employ horses in patrolling. I mean, after all, this is the horse capital of the universe. Lorene and I took a trip to 575 West 6th Street where the Lexington Police Mounted Unit is located. The unit includes a barn with stalls, an indoor training arena, and an office and a roll call center. If you remember, the roll call room is where sergeants give officers assignments. The mounted unit's roll call room is particularly interesting because it's decorated with blue ribbons, awards, and national and even worldwide titles. These mounted officers are distinguished and very well known among mounted units around the world. Mounted police officers specialize in crowd control and special events. It has also been said that the mounted unit makes citizens feel safe just by strolling around the neighborhoods. Officers Lisa Rakes, David Johnson, and Daniel Edge took us inside the training arena to show us some techniques that are used when patrolling. We learned that these officers usually ride in pairs, and they do this for their safety and simply because the horses feel bolder when they have a buddy beside them. The mounted unit can accomplish what 10 officers on foot are able to do. They can see over a crowd, spot problems, and even move crowds. The horses' bodies are used to physically move the crowds. A single mounted officer can move 8 people. The unit also teaches the horses to not be afraid so they won't become panic-stricken in an alarming and instantaneous situation. The officers shoot blank rounds to train the horses to remain calm when they hear alarming sounds. The officers also want the horses to get used to touching things with their bodies. The patrollers want to be in control of the horse's entire body. For example, when making an arrest, officers need to have good control over the horse's feet to ensure that the horse won't step all over the bad guy. When the mounted officers make an arrest, they stay on the horse and use the horse as a tool to handcuff someone. Can you say criminal sandwich? Most of the time, perpetrators cooperate with the officers because they're afraid of the horses. But hey, wouldn't you be scared too? After they make the arrest, they call a cruiser. The unit also practices jumping. Jumping helps the unit control the horse, and it helps the horse pay attention to the officers. Mounted officers have to make sure the horse is always facing the person of interest to gain more control of the suspect. If the suspect makes it to the side of the horse, the perpetrator could push the officer off the horse. That usually doesn't work out well for the bad guy. If the bad guy decides to run, he will look for an open, and this is what will happen. We are very lucky to have the Lexington Police Mounted Unit. So remember, next time you're in a crowd, keep it cool. Well, folks, that's all for this episode of Crime Fighting 101 with Caroline Dunn. Stay tuned for the next episode.